Thank you, Father. I like that song. Jolly Shaz, you come like a boss with that one. Yeah, 27 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock workers, I hope you're already close. All right, Mary Ebanks, good morning. How do you do? How are you this morning? All is well, I hope? Nice. Good morning to all you wonderful folks who are always locked on. And Chris Moses says, good morning, y'all. Well, good morning. Nice. Good. Catherine Phillip, good morning, Grenada. Thank God. Good morning, Innocent. Have a wonderful weekend. I certainly will. Once the good Lord permits, I will. Beverly and family out there in La Mode, good morning to you all. The entire home circle. Cynthia B says, good morning. Morning, Cynthia. The folks inside of River Sally and La Tasse this morning. Nedra Roberts, my sister, good morning. How you do? You good? Nice. The entire home circle, all right. Saying morning to Kaku and the household there. Beverly, Mousy, Leslie, and family, good morning. Carol, how you doing? Everything good? Nice. Folks, it's 26 minutes on to 7 o'clock. Good morning to you, Petlin, and the crew out there in Munich. How are you doing this morning, Petlin? I hope all is well. Nice. So let's get into the word of the day. And the word of the day today is a nice word. It's an adjective. It's a describing word. It's sapient. Sapient. It is a formal word that means possessing or expressing great wisdom. S-A-P-I-E-N-T, sapient. Mr. Jude Bernard, good morning to you and the family, man. How are you doing? Hope all is well. Have yourself a wonderful day as usual. So here's how we can use the word sapient. Sapient, as we can say, she was grateful to have in her mentor an ever reliable source of sapient character advice, or career advice rather. Where this character came from. So I'll reiterate this. She was grateful to have in her mentor an ever reliable source of sapient career advice. Nice. The thought of the day today. When you do the common things in life in an uncommon way, you will command the attention of the world. When you do the common things in life in an uncommon way, you will command the attention of the world. Yeah. Like when you're making breadfruit pudding. Yeah, that is a common thing, breadfruit common, but making a pudding with it is uncommon, so you capture the attention of the world, including me. Somebody promised me breadfruit pudding, up to now I ain't got it. I hope you're listening. Nice. Good morning to the wonderful folks inside of Rose Hill in St. Patrick. How are you doing? Paul, good morning. Pablo, what's up, puppy? So what's buzzing this morning? Well, of course, you know the Maggie King of the Grill comes up on Saturday the 29th of July outside of the Man Rouge playing field. It's a day with fun, food, and music. A whole lot of entertainment. Domino and all fours. I'll be conducting all fours classes. Yeah. So you can come and... Good morning to you, Mr. Wayne Wagiti Redhead and family. How are you doing? The folks at Mega Force Promotions. What happened? I'm having a tongue twister this morning. Maybe as I have my coffee late. Nice. Good. Yeah, good morning, Mr. Ian St. Bernard. Yeah. Good morning, sir. Judah. Good morning to you and your entire team also. My good friend Big Things Promotions. And folks, don't forget tomorrow night at Mellows Entertainment Center, we've got The Messenger, Luciano, live in concert. Yeah, and as you know, the event will be hosted by yours truly. And as a matter of fact, tomorrow morning, Luciano will be with me in studio on the West Indian Marketplace. Look forward to that. What's buzzing? Right, the shortage of medication at the nation's health facilities continues to be a growing concern, as highlighted by former Health Minister Dr. Clarice Modeste. That's buzzing. Also buzzing this morning, a committee set up in March to investigate a public officer accused of violating different clauses of the Public Service Statutory Rules and Orders has found that the Public Service Commission failed to prove its case. So the public officer won the case against the Public Service Commission. Yeah, okay. Also buzzing, women in politics are responding to MP Delma Thomas's call for women in particular to stand up for themselves and rise to their true calling. Yeah, boy, she had a speech, boy. She had a message. Go, girl, go. Yeah. Exceed expectations, man. Do what you gotta do, you know. In a relating buzz, the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Northwest, Delma Thomas, whose character came under attack by political pundits in recent times, is urging all political colleagues to keep their character intact. Also buzzing, Prime Minister Honorable Deacon Mitchell says Molyneux Road is critical to the successful completion of the Western Corridor project. Yeah, we got to get that under control. We got to get that under control. So those are the buzzing stories this morning. Once again, I want to say good morning to Teacher Mary, the critical eye. Yeah, I think she's one of GBN's most ardent listener, yeah? But she's silent. She seldom calls. Good morning to you and your staff, right? Nice. So recapping the word of the day, sapient, and it is a formal word that means possessing or expressing great wisdom. And the thought of the day, when you do the common things in life in an uncommon way, you will command the attention of the world. Morning, Nadisha. Take this one, girl. Do something common in an uncommon way today. And let the world talk. People talk, that's what they do, right? Good morning, Joe. How you do? Miss Annie, you good too? Cotty and Carla, Daniel and Delia, Dumpling and Delon, everybody. Roger and the guys inside of Coffee Bow Hill, Grenville. What's wrong with me this morning? I said Grenville in Coffee Bow Hill. Oh, that's grandhands. Okay. Gotta be careful today. The tongue will slip a lot. Let's see before we run off. Veronica Sandy says, good morning, Godliness and Joseph. Blessings to everyone. Just got notification on YouTube from GBN. Well, you're important. You understand? Sylvina Charles, good morning, Innocent. How you know so much people? Because I am a true Grenadian. And Mary Thomas, wishing the GBN family and friends a blessed day and an enjoyable weekend. Thank you very much. Same to you. Okay, happy birthday going out to Carrie Sandy at Granbra in St. Andrew. Yeah, you've got birthday greetings coming up from your aunt, Veronica. And she wants you to have a really, really good day today, all right? And I know they will make it special for you. Trust me, I know they will do that. No question about that. Enjoy it to the best. Happy birthday, dear Carrie. Good. Folks, it's 18 minutes on to the hour of 7 o'clock. And Dora Joseph says, good morning. Good morning to you, Dora. Hope all is well. All right. Okay, cheers to another weekend. The countdown to Panorama begins. Please play some pan music. Yes, Mr. Derek Sylvester. Derek James, rather. Promise to, good morning, Council Derek Sylvester. Why I call your name? All right, good. Yep. All right, the countdown is on. Derek was supposed to drop some pan music for me, but I understand he's on his way in Trinidad now, so. Good morning to you, Mr. Joseph. I really need to... I didn't even know who is that. You got to identify yourself. You have no transport and you want to go to the show tomorrow. All right, inbox me. You understand? Yep, good. Folks, we've got to take that break. We've got to head to the AM edition of News, Sports, and the weather here. All right. Okay, Sonia Mathlin Scott says, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Sony. Hope you're doing fine. The television viewers, you've got a rebroadcast of last evening's television news, but those of you here on Classic, we've got the AM edition of News, Sports, and the weather. So stick and stay with us. We'll be back after. We've got a conversation. We've got guests this morning. So after that, we will be having our usual conversation.
Someone to help you to your feet. I'll be that beacon to your highest peak. Oh, I'll be right next to you. No, I will never leave. Come on, take my hands. We got everything we need. Cause you can look to me whenever you're in need. Just call on me and I'll be on my way. I'll be by your side. But to divide the light that shines our way. Wherever you run, we'll make your dreams come true. Next time, next to you.
Nexa Credit Union, with you wherever your road leads.
Good evening from the Grenada Broadcasting Network. I'm Kenroy Petite. The shortage of medication at the nation's health facilities continues to be a growing concern, as highlighted by former Health Minister Dr. Clarice Modeste-Cohen. We get more in this Nisha Peters report.
Member of Parliament for St. Mark, Dr. Clarice Modeste-Cohen, raised a concern about the issue during Tuesday's sitting of the lower house and called on the government to address the complaints of the lack of medical supplies in the country.
I have a long list here, some of them very important, some of them not so important, but all important for health. And since we all agree that health is necessary for health is the health of a country, is the wealth of a country, I want to suggest, Mr. Speaker, that one of the members on the other side be given the responsibility from time to time. They can decide who they want to, and in collaboration with and acceptance from the Speaker, to let us know, let us on this side know, but also to let the nation know, because there are concerns, and we need a voice here, a voice that can give answers to the people.
In addressing the situation, Leader of Government Business, Philip Telesford, linked the issue of that of a recurring decimal and stated that the government is coping with the millions owed for medication.
I did speak to the Minister for Health in relation to this particular subject matter, and he informed me, Mr. Speaker, that the Ministry of Health and the Ministry of Finance are struggling to come to terms with bills far back as 2021 and 2022.
Telesford revealed that the ministry was forced to source for medication locally.
I am informed that the list of drugs that is missing is not that long list that I think I'm seeing from where I sit. But I was informed that it is about 6 drugs. And some of them, the ministry attempted to purchase from local drugstores here, Grenada. So you see the predicament, Mr. Speaker. And if we are purchasing from the local drugstores, it simply means that they will quickly run out of drugs themselves, and that the supply that they would get will be inadequate to deal with our needs.
The Social and Community Development Minister said health has always been a matter of concern for all governments.
We, Mr. Speaker, as a caring government, is doing the best that we can in the circumstances, trying to cope with these long outstanding bills. But, Mr. Speaker, it's not just a matter of payment. It's not just a matter of payment. It's a matter of analyzing all of these bills that is close to 2 years old and determining whether or not they are worthy of payment and settlement.
The Social and Community Development Minister at the time was responding to health concerns raised by the opposition MP for St. Mark during the last sitting of Parliament. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
Now, women in politics are responding to Member of Parliament Delma Thomas's call for women in particular to stand up for themselves and rise to their true calling. Here's Nisha Paul with the details.
I said, women, rise up. Let no one keep you down. Let no one say you cannot do it.
MP Delma Thomas issued a call to the nation's women on Sunday to stand up for themselves. Her former colleague, MP for St. Andrew Northeast, Kate Lewis, shared this view.
We have seen over the years a consistent rise in women empowering themselves, and a call today by the MP to continue to encourage women to do so is always a great call. Women in leadership, women finding their seats at the table is important because we do understand the contribution that we make and the impact it will have on our nation.
Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Southeast, Emmeline Pear, also supports the call.
And I would support all the time women speaking on various issues affecting women. As a matter of fact, I'm about to launch a program that speaks specific to that. So I totally agree.
The long-standing MP for St. Patrick, Clarice Modest-Cohen, commented saying,
And I think not only in politics, but all about, we find women sometimes take a back seat or feel intimidated. And so I think it's a good point. In terms of the relevance, I don't know if it's relevant to us as MPs or whatever, and so I cannot speak to that. What I can say is that I have always spoken up for myself when I think it's necessary.
Meanwhile, Grenada's youngest woman in politics and MP for St. John, Carina James, also chimed in.
I see her as a role model, not just in the political space, but in terms of being a woman standing up for herself and standing up when no one else is standing with her but her family. It's something that we could take a lift out of her book and implement it in our daily lives. And this is a clarion call for young women who are in situations that cause you to lose yourself, cause you to your integrity, your pride, your dignity. These are key morals that we have, and you have to do everything at all costs to preserve that and to stand up for yourself, because at the end of the day, it's only you have on this earth. So today's move by Honorable MP Thomas is a move to give young women in Grenada and in the Caribbean as a whole that opportunity to see firsthand that when you stand up for yourself, when you defend yourself, when you defend your character, and when you have the testicular fortitude to take moves and to take steps that are not popular, that persons might criticize you for. You may feel in the first instance that you are alone, but when you look at it, you're not alone. There are many silent persons behind you, carrying you, praying for you, supporting you. So step out in whatever situation that you're in. Step up and make your mark.
All right. Janelle MacDonald reporting there. This story to report. The Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Northwest, Delma Thomas, whose character came under attack by political pundits in recent times, is urging her political colleagues to keep their character intact. more in this report.
There's no one at present in the new National Party that can say that I've accepted anything from anyone. No one cannot call my name in any corruption. They can dig as deep as they want. There will be nothing.
MP Delma Thomas was forced to defend her character and a good name in recent weeks amidst indications of an apparent rift within the new National Party. MP Thomas has since resigned from the opposition party and joined the ranks of the ruling National Democratic Congress. She is urging her political colleagues and upcoming politicians to ensure that they maintain a good character, striving at all times to ensure that it does not get did.
So I want to say that to the young politician and aspiring politician. You see your character? Guard it with your life. You see, brothers and sisters, it is easy to get swell-headed when you rise to this highest office. It is easy to get tainted. Don't get tainted. Keep your character intact.
MP Thomas was at the time addressing a ceremony to announce her decision to join the ruling NDC administration. She elaborated on the issue in the lower house of parliament on Tuesday, recalling that she was once considered the most honest person within the NNP.
This is Delma Thomas who started the political journey in 2008. And when I started that journey, Mr. Speaker, after that first election, I was highlighted as one of the most honest persons they have ever seen. And I know the comrade member for the town of St. George heard it, that they can put a neck on a block for me. I'm one of the only persons that they show you can put a neck on a block, because they show that I would not do anything dishonest. For 9+ years I've sat in this house, been a minister, never been accused. In fact, they expressed that other members should take a page from my book. One page, because I was seen as being honest.
Meanwhile, the Member of Parliament for St. Andrew North East, Kate Lewis, says,
I firmly believe that it is important. Politicians, we have to maintain the integrity in the system. We have to lead by example, and sometimes I believe there are detractors out there who give the impression that we are not leading by example, or we are not following the right path. However, there are many instances where we can prove that we do what is right.
Member of Parliament for St. Mark, Dr. Clarice Modest-Curran, also shared her views.
In terms of integrity, I believe that I stand tall, and I have always admonished myself to do so, and for whatever years are left of my involvement in frontline politics, that is how I intend for it to be.
For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Before the break, this story to report. An update, in fact, from Grenada on electricity services on the sister isle of Carriacou. Some relief is on the way for customers of Carriacou with the dispatch of a generator from Grenada on Thursday. The 1.4 megawatt generator shipped to Carriacou will help to stabilize electricity supply there. Given the developments this week involving the larger generator in Carriacou, Grenada officials made the decision to send a unit from Grenada rather than await the arrival of the Trinidad rental. The rental engine ordered for Carriacou, which is expected in Grenada over the next few days, will be installed at the Queen's Park power plant to replace the unit that has been shipped to Carriacou. Grenlec's plan is to have the additional generator online in Carriacou late Saturday, May 27. This will require an island-wide outage in Carriacou on Saturday to complete the installation process. Consequently, electricity is scheduled to be unavailable to all customers from 4 a.m. to 5 p.m. The company is appealing to customers to continue to exercise patience, as integrating the unit with the existing system may require some time and a little more inconvenience. Petite set up in March to investigate a public officer accused of violating different clauses of the Public Service statutory rules and orders has found that the Public Service Commission failed to prove its case. Nisha Paul reports.
The individual who holds the rank of executive officer in the Ministry of Sports, Youth and Culture was accused of leaking on social media an internal memorandum of a contractual arrangement for the hiring of Patrick Simmons and Ian Thomas as advisors to Sports Minister Ron Redhead in February. The ministry reported the allegation to the PSC and requested that it appraise the situation and take whatever action is deemed necessary in accordance with the Public Service Commission regulation. Although leaking of information was the essence of the accusation, the PSC presented the public officer's file showing that there were different infractions since 2007. The executive officer, who has been on administrative leave since March 7th, sought assistance from the Workers Union, whose attorney, James Bristol, KC, represented the worker in the hearing held on May 12th. The committee, chaired by retired Justice Rosalind Wilkinson, with Reginald Lord and Miss Annie Brathwaite as members, found that there were no grounds for dismissing the worker, who has been a public officer for over 25 years. Public Relations Officer Daisy Hazard explains.
The case and the argument for the worker is a case of one double jeopardy. Because if you are investigating an officer's tenure and you are looking at files spanning a period of 15 years, it stands to reason that if that officer is employed within the public service, that those matters would have been looked at before by the Public Service Commission. And so double jeopardy would mean that you are seeking to look at that officer or to punish that officer twice. And cases were cited in that matter where officers previously would have won the matter. So the attorney literally moved for a no waiver, for a waiver of all of those things dating back to 2007.
Additionally, Hazard noted that the workers' file was replete with promotions, commendations, and congratulations.
But in addition to that, the officer's file was replete with promotions, commendations, congratulations. So it was not just a matter where you could cherry pick out, well, let me cherry pick out all those aspects which I feel might be negative against the worker, and the aspects which are positive, I'm going to ignore those. Because in the conduct of a 25-year career, I think any one of us may have some negative marks on our file. We are human. And so I don't think that there is any worker working anywhere over a span of 25 years may not have a complaint, may not have had a concern registered as to their conduct, as to their service, as to their professional.
Having prevailed in the matter, Hazard says it is expected that the executive officer will return to work when the administrative leave expires at the end of the month.
The PSC failed to make a case against the officer, and so there's no danger of the officer losing their job. As far as the union is aware, that officer has been on administrative leave since March of this year. And I believe correctly that the last bit of leave that the officer was sent on expires as of May 31st. We fully expect the officer to return to their job without any prejudice whatsoever. Whether it's within the same division or ministry, that would be up to the employer. But definitely there can be no negative or damaging fallout for the officer arising out of this matter.
The PSC is the independent body responsible for the hiring, firing, disciplining, and regularizing of public officers. Section 83 of the Grenada Constitution provides for the appointment of the 5-member Public Service Commission by the Governor General on recommendation from the Prime Minister, who can also recommend that a member's appointment be revoked. For GBN News, I'm Nisha Paul.
Well, after a 4-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ministry of Education is once again hosting its district science fairs. Leading up to the National Science Fair later this year, a series of district fairs is being held.
After a 4-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Ministry of Education is once again hosting its district science fairs. Leading up to the National Science Fair later this year, a series of district fairs are taking place. District 3, which comprises of schools in the parish of St. Andrew, held a science fair at the Grenada Secondary School and attracting participation from 15 schools in the district. The science fairs are ongoing under the theme Water and Energy Strategies, the Key to Sustainable Development. District 3 Education Officer is Peter Regis.
We do not have 100% participation from schools. We have, I think, 3 schools opting out. They gave various reasons for not taking part. As I said, they were challenged because of the many competing activities. However, I'm quite satisfied with the number of projects that we have today and the number of schools which have taken part in this fair today.
Mr. Regis calls on Corporate Grenada to show more support for such initiatives.
One thing I do wish is that an activity of that nature, we can be able to get more sponsorship from our corporate citizens out there. Because to do projects like that, it costs quite a lot of money. And schools, as you know, do not generate that amount of funds to fund projects like this. So I will really appreciate if some of our corporate citizens can come on board so that we can have more sponsorship for such projects in the future.
Lauren Diali, the national coordinator for the science fair, had this to say about today's activity.
There are 7 different categories, science categories being showcased here and at all the different district fairs. They include the blue economy, flora and fauna, agricultural, freshwater sources, renewable energy sources, transport, and waste.
The National Science Fair is scheduled to take place in October 2023. Nisha Peters, GBN News.
Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell says the Molyneux Road is critical to the successful completion of the Western Corridor project. Here's the report.
Speaking at a press brief on Tuesday, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell underscored the critical importance of addressing the Molyneux landslip, part of the Western Corridor project. This major road rehabilitation project is one of 2 for which grant funding was secured.
Well, the Molyneux project is and when you say Molyneux, we're talking about the landslip, yes? Right, so the landslip is a very distinct project because if we don't fix the Molyneux landslip and get a road, effectively there's no Western Main Road, there's no Western Corridor. You're either going to have to go through Mount Parnassus, Mount Moritz as we're currently going, which is dangerous and really only meant for one-way traffic. That's not sustainable. Or you can go through the bypass that we recently built, which is Mount Kuma, which is obviously significantly longer, and also has some disadvantages because people living close to the Molyneux area obviously then don't have bus access. So we're committed to solving the Molyneux landslip because if you don't have that, you literally cannot do anything in terms of improvement to the Western Main Road.
Since the start of construction at the Molyneux landslip site, engineers have been trying to stabilize the area. When the grant was initially approved in 2016, there was no landslips. The Prime Minister said now there are additional costs that will have to be catered for.
It is a challenging site. The rock surface, some of it is not even rock, is very unstable. If you go there, you can actually stand and see the soil constantly falling. So we have to sort this issue out. When we sort this issue out, then we can think of the larger Western Main Road. Which is why once it became clear to us that we obviously were attempting to keep the grant funding in place, that our focus should really be on the water expansion project because there was no impediments to solving that. When the UKSIF grant was made available for the Western Main Road, there was no Molyneux landslip, I think, at the time. And so obviously it was granted and agreed on the assumption that we were just going to do the normal works along the Western Main Road. And since the Molyneux landslip, that's an additional part of it that is distinct and separate that we locally funding to make sure that we can get it done.
Meanwhile, Cuban engineers are presently on island reviewing Grenada's road infrastructure. Prime Minister Mitchell provided insight into their mission.
And they've already begun working earnestly They are involved in a number of road projects, reviewing all our bridges. We intend to do capital works on the Oban to Cliff road. I think you've already seen signs of asking heavier vehicles and heavy trucks not to traverse the area, because it's obviously going to lead to further deterioration of the road, as well as it's frankly dangerous, because there's some parts where two vehicles simply can't pass. So they've been involved in looking at it.
The initial design for the road network, he added, did not entail certain necessary features, which upon review have been deemed necessary for a better outcome.
We had one assuming office designs had already been done for the road. We reviewed designs, we were not satisfied with them. It did not involve widening of the road. It did not involve straightening of the road. There were no sidewalks. In effect, the work was simply to do some retaining walls and repave the road. And there's no way I'm going to preside over a situation where if the road could be widened, we are not widening it. If it could be straightened, we are not straightening it. And if we can put pavements for pedestrians to walk, especially in a residential neighborhood, that we should spend millions of dollars and end up with the same road with no significant improvement to it.
Christina John, GBN News.
A special treat awaits you at the end of GBN I Saw Lens.
A good eye captures all. GBN Eyesore is brought to you by Clear Vision.
It was the Tiny Tots of Skipping Stones Academy's day to portray their future careers. It's one fun way of getting children to explore occupations, and the simple question to be asked was, what do you want to be when you grow up?
I am Kid Santa Claus. When I grow up, I like to be a pilot. I will travel the world. I am the fire Martin. When I grow up, I want to be a doctor. When people are sick, I'll make them well. I am Karen George. When I grow up, I like to be a doctor. Happy purpose makes me happy. I am Ava Binley. When I grow up, I would like to be a flight attendant. Planning so everyone is safe on the plane. I am Rafaela Cornet. When I grow up, I would like to be a chef. I am Joy Alexander. When I grow up, I would like to be a fireman. I'll out all the fires in my community. I am Josiah Prasad. When I grow up, I would like to be a policeman. I will keep the bad boys off the streets. We are the future generation.
This parent took the time out to dress alike with her son for Career Day, pilot and flight attendant. Skipping Stones Academy's Career Day was celebrated under the theme, We Are the Future Generation. And yes, indeed, they are. We say thanks to our ISA reporter for such a beautiful submission. Continue to share with us your photo and video submissions via WhatsApp at 405-3052 or our other social media platforms.
Shop at Southern Electrical for all your security camera needs. We offer a wide variety of cameras such as solar cameras with or without lights, 4G cameras, Wi-Fi and PoE kits, 4, 8, and 16 channel, replacement cameras for PoE, standalone Wi-Fi cameras, floodlights with cameras, watch cameras, pen cameras, and much more. We are located at Dusty Highway in Grandin, St. George. Let us help you with your security needs. Southern Electrical. Best value, expert advice, quality products.
And so it begins. A journey like none other. Every moment has the potential to be unforgettable. Bring home a piece of the tropical green forest with every emerald. Capture the sparkling light of flawless water in a diamond. Make the sunrise and sunsets last forever. With precious colored gemstones, the essence of happiness and our most precious memories. So, when it all comes to an end. Bring home something that will last forever. Colombian Emeralds International. Bring home more than a memory.
Calling all athletics fans, the Whitsuntide Games at NACAC combined events are sprinting your way on May 27th and 28th, hosted by the Grenada Athletics Association. Experience the thrill at the Carina James Athletic Stadium. You'll be on the edge of your seat as top local and regional athletes from St. Kitts, St. Vincent, Trinidad, Barbados, Antigua, and Guyana compete for glory. Get the best view from the main stand for just $25, or enjoy the action from the bleachers for only $15. Got kids under 12? They join the fun for even less. Gates open at 9 a.m. sharp on both days. Don't miss out on the biggest athletics event of the year, the Whitsuntide Games and NACAC combined events. Brought to you by the Grenada Athletics Association. See you at the finish line.
WeatherGuard Pro. For every project, there's only one Pro.
In our part of the world, we need to be prepared for natural disasters like storms and hurricanes, even outside of the season. I'm sure you'll agree that keeping our loved ones, homes, and businesses safe is important. So, I came up with a few quick tips to help you stay safe. First, make a family disaster plan and ensure that everyone in your household is familiar and comfortable with it. Remember to add batteries and flashlights to your emergency kit. Don't be caught off guard by natural disasters. Prepare now. For more information, visit grenlec.com.
All right, welcome back, viewers and listeners, and it's now 15 minutes gone past 7 o'clock, and it's time for the conversation. And as I hinted to you earlier, I have two sets of guests this morning, but first I have a group of young people. Well, I've got two young persons on the line. One is local, one is regional, and I don't know about you, but in my neck of the woods, we usually do the ladies first. So locally, I've got with me Miss Carina Blache, a goodly young lady, and all the way in St. Kitts, Mr. Malakhi Ferguson, and they are representing an organization, You Report. It's a good time to say good morning to you, lady and gentlemen.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right, Malakhi, how are you?
I'm fine, and you?
I am good. All right, nice meeting you. Now, I've been hearing about You Report, but because of my busy schedule, I never had the opportunity to really delve into it to get to understand what is this You Report. So maybe you can explain to us what is You Report. Any of you, both of you, however.
Okay. So You Report is a confidential platform created by UNICEF. But here in the Caribbean, or in the OECS, it's managed by the OECS Commission, right? So it's geared towards young persons between the ages 13 to 29, right? This is what UNICEF recognizes young persons as, that age bracket, but it does not limit. Anyone can sign up for the platform, anyone, right? But the main focus really is the ages of 13 to 29. So it's a confidential platform. That's principally what it is, right? It's anonymous, right? And one of the key things, it bridges the gap between policy directors and young persons who are largely a marginalized group.
So in essence, what it does is that it brings a voice to the table of the young people, specifically in that age group that you're talking about.
Definitely, yes.
Okay, Carina?
Just to add to what my colleague has said thus far, the You Report platform is essentially an avenue whereby young persons between that age bracket are afforded an opportunity to voice their concerns about issues that affect them or topics that they care about, with the hope that the relevant stakeholders would be able to use the data gathered through our platform in order to devise a strategy for the way forward. How can they correct certain issues that we have identified? Provide a youth perspective on various issues.
Okay, and how long ago has this platform been launched?
So for the OECS, it was launched in 2021.
Okay, and what has the response been thus far? Are young people signing up to it?
So to date, we have 5,000 plus young persons signed up to the platform that is within the OECS region. However, globally, there are over 26 million young persons signed up to the platform throughout 95 countries. So I would say that we have gained some traction from 2021 to now, and the idea is to keep the momentum going.
Okay. Now, how does this U report work? How does it work?
Okay, so essentially, you have to sign up to the platform, and it is simple and easy. You simply text the word join to any of our social media platforms, excluding Twitter. So you can text the word join to our WhatsApp number, which is 758-287-2124. Alternatively, you can text the word join to our Facebook Messenger or Instagram DM at YouReportOECS. You would be prompted to answer 3 questions for registration. This is simply to understand the demographic of the population. So you would be asked your address, inclusive of your country and your parish. You would be asked your age as well as your gender. Again, I wish to reiterate, like my colleague explained, it is a confidential and an anonymous platform, so your information will not be released and we will not really know who's responding or what your responses are. Once polls become available, right, based on consultation with various organizations, or if we ourselves notice a particular social issue that needs addressing, we as ambassadors, we develop polls, we release it, and the chatbot sends out a notification letting you know, hey, there's a new poll available. Would you like to participate? The data is collected and presented in a very comprehensive way on our website, which is oecs.ureport.in. And that's essentially it. We invite stakeholders to utilize the data to achieve various goals.
Now, that sounds remarkable to me. I like this idea with young people sort of pooling together, because we must admit the fact that some of the major concerns of the young people are not necessarily similar to that of the people who are more in age. All right, it's a whole generation gap. The way you all talk in comparison to the way I talk, I consider myself an old man. All right, and ever so often I have to call on my children to what does this mean? For example, even the vernacular you all use nowadays on the various platforms. When I saw LOL, I was like, what does this mean? So I had to call Brittany and say, Brittany, what LOL means? And she was laugh out loud. I said, oh. That's the way you understand. Now, having said that, 2021 to now, regionally, what are some of your major achievements and impacts that your report have had?
Okay, so one of the earliest achievements that we can boast about is that during the La Soufrière volcanic eruption in 2021 in St. Vincent, the YouReport platform was actually utilized by the government as an emergency response tool. So through the platform, persons were able to let the government know what they needed at that point in time, and same was provided to them. So that is one of our early success stories. However, as of recently, we have made significant strides in the education sector. Not only have we engaged with ministries of education across the OECS region, we had a representative from OECS YouReport attending the 8th Council of Ministers, the 8th OECS Council of Ministers forum just recently, where she was able to provide a youth perspective on learning and assessment in the OECS region. And also another success story is that we have forged a significant amount of partnerships across the 9 OECS member states from the time of 2021 to now. Some of them are not completely finalized as yet, so I don't want to make any mention.
Any pronouncements? All right, so it's in essence, it's a work in progress, right?
That's
and
right.
in Malakhi, in your opinion, the successes that you all have had thus far, would you say it's encouraging? You see meaning to the efforts that you all are putting together?
So, before I go into that, one of the beauty about this, we have a 95% response rate. So, which means for every 100 person that starts a poll through the platform, right, 95% of those persons actually complete those polls. So one, it shows that young persons, and this is one of the largest response rates throughout the region, right? So one, this shows that young persons are interested. Young persons want to be heard. They want their voices to be heard, right? So it's definitely encouraging, right? We would have started a relaunch mission here in St. Kitts, which is, we've had a representative from Dominica, Miss Wendy Wallace, the country lead ambassador for Dominica, and also Yusuf Stafford, who is from the OECS Commission. So we going around to these schools and seeing that, okay, young persons really have a lot to say, right? So, some touching things. So they have a lot to say. They just want an avenue to hear these views, hear these concerns, hear their perspectives, and even offer solutions.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Now, on a different note, the month of May has been designated as the month of mental awareness. All right. Sad to say that among the accomplishments and so forth of young people nowadays, okay, very brilliant, very dynamic, very versatile, but we do have some who fall through the cracks and get themselves involved in, illicit activities, the drugs and so forth. And if you visit some of our mental institutions, you would find a high number of young people, or even if they're not in the mental institutions, but you'd find them on the streets and so forth. From your report's perspective, are there any initiatives that you all have undertaken to sort of, reach out to mentally disturbed youth?
Well, mental health, as you know, is a big deal, right? And we have utilized the platform to assist persons in managing their mental health. So, for instance, we have a partnership with an organization called Fundu, and through the platform, Fundu releases various tasks and activities. So, for instance, we rolled out a series of activities this month where persons could learn how to manage their stress, notice early signs of their personal stress signals, learn how to be more empathetic, learn how to drop undesirable habits, and so on. And we also had a poll on non-communicable diseases across the Caribbean region, inclusive of mental health. So in that regard, we have made certain moves towards addressing the issues of mental health in the Caribbean region. However, we have not specifically reached out to mentally ill persons themselves to offer any assistance in that regard as yet. So like we said, it's a work in progress. And so we're starting at a broader spectrum and narrowing it down.
But having said that, with that poll that was conducted, what showed up as most alarming or impactful as it relates to accessibility and so forth?
Okay, so just permit me to read a bit of the results from the poll. 49% of the respondents were certain that counseling and mental health services were easily available in their school and community. However, 29% believed that those services were not easily accessible to them, while 22% of the respondents stated that they were not aware of any mental health services available in their schools or community. And I think that more can be done, not only by the government, but by other organizations, by young persons themselves, to increase the visibility of these services that are available. Because sometimes the services are there, but persons are unaware that they're there and available for them to use. So I think more can be done in that regard. Additionally, when asked, within the last 3 months, have you visited a mental health professional for counseling or support? Only 11% said yes. 64% no, while, interestingly, 23% said no, but they wanted to. They were interested in receiving such support. And again, I think this is another area that needs to be looked into. Why is it that these persons wanted to seek mental health services, but they were unable to, or why didn't they? And last two points. Respondents identified that social stigma and negative perception were the main barriers that they themselves experienced, or the main barriers that they think other persons experience when going to seek mental health services. We all know that there's a stigma around mental health. The minute time you decide to start counseling, we automatically jump to the negative presumptions. And so that can actually dissuade other persons. So I'm happy with all the movements around mental health so that we can work on destigmatizing it so that more persons would really get the help that they need. And finally, 47% of respondents stated that country leaders should have more mental health awareness campaigns to manage these issues. Others agreed that there should be peer-to-peer support, after-school programs, and access to crisis hotlines. So these are some of the information that we were able to glean from that poll this year.
Wow, that's rather interesting. And you also raise a very salient point there as it relates to people who know that they need some sort of intervention, but were hesitant in doing so. Which brings me to the next question as it relates to privacy. What measures do you report take to ensure the privacy and the confidentiality of information that was shared with you from, people who are joining?
Okay, so as you can see, when the questions that are asked when you sign up, it's not your name, it's nothing really specific, just demographic questions. So where you live, the parish or district you reside in, your age and your gender, right? So when you sign up to this platform, it gives you an ID number, right? So it doesn't link you to a WhatsApp. It doesn't know your name. So we pride ourselves, you report OECS, the platform prides itself on being confidential and anonymous. So even we have some prizes. I've been going around to the school and we're raffling like 50 USD Amazon gift cards. So this one question to ask, if it's confidential, how do you get in contact with me, right? And what the promotion is really, if you refer about 20 friends or a good amount of friends, you're more like using that reference ID, you're more eligible to win that 50 USD Amazon gift card. So what it does, once we see, okay, well, 20 persons have used this reference ID 213456, we'd be able to send in that person's chat, right? We won't know your name, so we're just going to send it to that same chat who is most eligible and said, listen, we have a prize for you. Do you want to collect it? And this is how you do so, right? So we pride ourselves on just that, being confidential, no names. So it's just those specific data so we can drive policy in our region. And I don't know if it's in Grenada, but definitely in St. Kitts, we lack data, right? And so we have a lot of not informed policy or legislation because they have no involvement directly with you because we don't have the data to support it. And this bridges that gap largely.
Wow, that's comforting to know for those folks who are so bent on privacy and confidentiality. All right, now we were nearing the end of the conversation, and I want to personalize this a bit. All right, Carina, what got you to sign on to your report?
Well, Firstly, I've always had a passion for volunteerism, youth advocacy. You know, anything involving youth development just count me in. And I think it was the uniqueness of this U-Report platform, like an entire platform designated to young people alone so that we can voice our opinions. I jumped at the opportunity to be a part of this group because I know that going forward, a group of young persons leading other young persons, you can't go wrong. And so I know that we have a lot in common. We would be able to influence our peers would be able to share ideas. Because as young persons, we are creative and innovative. We have a lot.
Well, you all have proven that in recent times, even in the political sphere, yeah?
That's correct. And so I just know that this was a great fit for me. And we have made significant strides.
Let me ask you this before I move on to ask Malakhi the same question. Carina, do you have political ambitions? You can plead the fifth if you want to.
At this moment, not exactly.
But I see you as a future politician.
I'm still on edge about it, but no definite answer as yet.
Yeah, all right. I get the message. The message is between the lines. Malakhi, what got you to join U-Report?
So similarly, I'm a youth advocate. I'm the vice president of our national youth parliament here. So when I started on social media, some persons were involved that I knew from other Caribbean islands. And I said, when I got to know more about it, I said, this fills a gap, honestly, right? Because when we're doing debate, one of the things we say, how can we actually reach young persons? Because we basically, when we go up in parliament and we debate for them, right? So we have, whatever we debate must be representative of their views, right? Clearly, right? So instead of us assuming now what the community of Sandy Point feels about something, we could directly ask them what St. Kitts and Nevis feels about a certain policy or legislation. We could directly hear from them. So therefore, when we represent them to our best ability from an informed perspective because of this very important tool.
Wow. Okay. All right. Now, in wrapping up the conversation this morning, from St. Kitts and a Grenada perspective as it relates to U-Report OECS, are there any major initiatives to be undertaken in the not-too-distant future on both territories or regionally?
Sorry.
Yes.
Right. So I can speak for Grenada. In the not too distant future, we hope to forge certain partnerships with various stakeholders. Two of the key stakeholders that we have identified thus far are the Grenada Planned Parenthood Association and the Ministry of Social Development. And I will explain in what capacity. So for Grenada Planned Parenthood Association, we're hoping that we can partner on a poll concerning safe sexual practices, especially ahead of the upcoming carnival season, to protect our young persons. And also in relation to the Ministry of Social Development, we're hoping that we can partner on a poll concerning juvenile justice. As we have seen, the statistics as of late concerning juvenile involvement in crime and violence has been alarming. It has been concerning, and it needs to be addressed immediately. So we're hoping that we can partner with these two institutions in the first instance, and I'm hoping that if any representative from either group is here listening, that you would reach out and express your interest in that regard. Of course, we plan to continue school visits on the island, and upcoming, we hope that we can do a wide launch in the sister isle of Carriacou and Petite Martinique so that they can also be on board, right? Okay. So that whatever information, whatever data we collect would not exclude them. We need inclusivity, and so we're hoping that we can reach our counterparts in the sister isles of Carriacou and Petite Martinique. And that's just a sneak peek into what we have for this year. Over to you, Malakhi.
So as I would have mentioned earlier, this week was really focused on our relaunch mission, right? So we would have had stakeholder meetings with the Ministry of Environment, Ministry of Education, Ministry of Social Services, Child Probation Services. We had stakeholder meetings with our community college here, the St. Kitts National Youth Parliament Association, other youth groups, Impact, Project Discovery, right? So that was our basically first half of the week in relation to building strong connections, because without these stakeholders, our data might, not affect the necessary change. So we need these stakeholders to drive the mission. So, it's not just us getting signups and going out to schools, getting signups and not doing anything after that. We're actually actioning change, right? So that's why we're building these necessary connections. So we collaborate with these different various ministries, NGOs, so they can have informed policy and then make informed decisions, right? And then we also went to the major high schools in, of course, the central town, which is Basseterre, and then the rural community, the countryside, went to the major secondary schools there, right? To get sign up, because we need sign up. So when we go to these stakeholders, when we go to the relevant ministries and they see the number of sign-ups and the number of responses, say, wow, we have to definitely effect change. We really have to action this data, right? Okay. We're actually going to there soon after this interview with Good Morning Grenada to our sister island, which is Nevis, to visit also the large secondary school to get sign-ups, because likewise, we want to hear from persons in Nevis, because we're one federation. So whatever, we want to see how the data connects, right? Because in St. Kitts, going school to school, we've noticed that they have similar issues, right? And most likely, they're going to have similar issues in Nevis also. So we're also going to be a part of a STEM Expo. We're going to have a booth there, getting sign up, letting persons know the beauty about the Report platform and why they should sign up.
Okay.
We have the A Faith Connect initiative that we plan to launch in the summer months to connect Report to faith-based institutions, because that too is a marginalized group, those youth groups within those faith-based institutions, and we want to hear from them. We want to build connections with them in the summer months. So this is something that we intend to roll out. And also coming up before that, we should have a partnership with the youth parliament here with OECS to do a juvenile justice reform parliament using data that is collected from the Report platform.
Wow, quite a lot. And just before we go, let me just give you some of the feedbacks that we're getting on our Facebook platform. Erica Elnika Child says, good morning, proud of these young people and their reach. The young lady in particular is an excellent communicator. Kudos. Cynthia Bay says, what did Cynthia say? No, Wendy says, hi, good day. You Report is a program driven by youth for youth. Youth are at the helm of leadership and are the ones driving this positive change. So you're impacting, and that's really, really good. Mariah Rock says, super proud of you, Malakhi. All right, good. Malakhi, rather. I call him, if I find something sounded, but nonetheless, folks, we are out of time, and I want to challenge you that you will not be a stranger to this program, all right? Because it's youth focused, and that's where we have to, make that reach. So I expect to be hearing from you all regularly, so we can push that initiative. We need to rescue our young people. And I challenge you to, be in touch so that we can push that agenda through our various media. All right?
Great. Thank you so much for having us.
The pleasure is always ours, right? So Carina and Malakhi, thanks for being a part of the program this morning, and continue pushing the positivity, okay?
Thanks.
All right, have a good one. Folks, I have been speaking there with Carina, Blache, and Malakhi Ferguson. They are part of You Report OECS, and it is a global movement across the Caribbean and the world, and it's specifically designed to assist the young people. We take a commercial break. When we come back, we've got two guests as it relates to the Healing of the Nation Crusade that is upcoming. Stick and stay with us. We'll be back after these messages.
Affordable quality products delivered to you via superb service. We are Superb Distributors, wholesalers and authorized agents for trusted products you know and love, like Rika Juices, Pure Heaven products, Bibbin diapers, New Bright laundry detergent, Allegra pasta, and more.
Contact Superb Distributors at 435-2948 for superb quality and service.
Rhythms of Spice is back Sunday, June 11, 3 p.m. at Mount Cinnamon Lawn. A spicy, classy explosion of Grenadian talent featuring Project Music, Fahrenheit, Zorina Andel, Godson Brown, Cool Jazz Band, Angel Hobbs, Tivoli Dancers, and special guest Tony Paul and Vonette Bigford from Trinidad. Rhythms of Spice, June 11, 3 p.m. Mount Cinnamon Lawn. Tickets $50 on sale at Grenadian Optical, St. George's, Art and Soul, Spiceland Mall, Kenton's Pharmacy in Granville, and Go to Fed. More at the door. Children 12 and under free. Sponsors: Grenada Tourism Authority, Ministry of Culture, Kalinago Hotel, Hubbard's, GBN, Boss FM, Real FM, HD Sounds, Danny D, Bryden's, Independence Agencies, Gabriel's Rental, Cafe Skyline, and Comon Medical. Walk with your picnic chairs and beach towels.
How going on, boy? Hey, good old things. Hey, easy. Yeah. Boy, in line, boy. Your house looking a real good day. Boy, it's thanks to the hard-working and professional staff at the Housing Authority of Grenada. They handled me real nice. They did my plan, they did the construction, and I didn't even have to worry about a thing. They were there with me every step of the way, supervising the job, asking me about my concerns, giving me feedback as the house took shape. They were there from start to finish, and even put the keys in the palm of my hand. I give them an A++ for customer service. Oh, it's people from housing bad, boy. Boy, not bad. Excellent. If you're thinking about constructing your home, why not consult the Housing Authority of Grenada? You could visit them right down in the Sandino complex, or give them a call, 440-1015 or 440-1016. Or check out their website, hag473.com. They go handle you. They go jog your blocks, they go draw your plan, they go tote your materials. Hey man, where you going? The Housing Authority of Grenada is your choice for affordable housing and a stress-free construction experience.
Regatta Festival!
Where on Friday, we welcome you with cultural displays.
Saturday, ready, set, go. All aboard, let's go!
Sunday, the feature weeks with activities for you and I. Monday, we know you'll be crying for more.
Oh, we just can't wait to have fun. We can go sailing, we can go partying, eating and drinking, we can go juve. This is our unique festival, Regatta 2023.
Martinique Whitsuntide Regatta awaits you May 26th to 29th.
See you there.
On Saturday, July 29, Montrouge Plainfield will be transformed into a sea of grills as food, fun, and friends collide. It's the 10th annual Maggie King of the Grill competition. The best chef and barbecue kings and queens compete for cash, a new grill, and the title of Maggie King of the Grill. Come savor the flavors. Try to bust the ice cold bar and let the kids have their way in the bouncing castles, pony rides, slides, and games. Try your hand at dominoes or the beer and leg competition and win instant cash. Come 7 p.m., you go stateside to enjoy performances from top local acts. It's a whole evening of fun at the Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, July 29 at the Montrouge Plainfield. Gates open from 12 noon. $10 get you on the inside. Powered by Maggie, Hot 98, and GBN Television.
All right, welcome back, viewers and listeners, to the conversation. It's 12 minutes on to 8 o'clock, and I'm joined at this time with two goodly gentlemen. To my extreme right is Pastor Terence George of the Beaton New Testament Church of God, and to my immediate right is Pastor Benedict Newton. He is from the Corinth Ebenezer Pentecostal Church, and they are here this morning to heighten our awareness of an upcoming crusade, the Healing of the Nation Crusade. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Very good morning to you.
Wow, you all should sing a little more often together. You all harmonize well. Yes.
Well, thank you. Thank you. For years.
Yes. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. So, as a matter of fact, we did this before as it relates to Healing of the Nation. I'm seeing banners all over the place now promoting the Healing of the Nation Crusade. So, give us some info on that.
Well, Healing of the Nation Crusade, we have shall I say, a track record, basically. Healing of the Nation started in 1986, believe it or not.
Wow.
1986, and we have been going for all these years. It was the brainchild, if I may refer to it as such, of our evangelist, Selwyn Healing. The Lord really put this in his heart to, that was the post invasion,
revolution,
the time of uncertainties, and so God put this in his heart to do this program, Healing of the Nation, because at that time,
we needed healing.
Yes, yes, and even now we're still.
Well, of course, we need it now even more.
Even more.
That's right. That's right.
So that's
definitely.
In a nutshell, that's the background here, and we have been Bishop Terence and I have been part of it since then. Yes.
Okay.
Since
then. So it's a sort of collaborative effort from various churches.
Yes. Evangelical churches.
Evangelical churches. Yeah. All right. And from 1986 to now, what are the fruits of the crops thus far?
I'll ask Bishop to speak in that regard.
It's so much. And good morning, everybody. There's so much that we can really talk about with fruits of this Healing of the Nation Crusade is concerned. As Pastor Ben said, I was in the initial stage of this. I am sitting here and I would have experienced the miraculous healing power of God in my life during those crusades. There are members of my congregation who experienced the touch of God in the crusade. In fact, I can recall maybe over 100 or more persons who would have received healing, deliverance, salvation from this crusade. This is not a dead business. It's alive, it's well, and we believe that even in this time, we are going to see a lot more. And it's a moving organization.
Right, and it's fulfilling its mandate.
Oh yes, of course.
So, in the interest of time, what are the specifics for this edition of the Healing of the Nations Crusade? When will it be? When will it be held, and where?
Well, it is going to begin at on the 11th to the 16th of June at the Bellevue Recreation Ground in St. David. So that's going to be the venue, and we are putting lots of things in place to see that it happens. And of course, a lot of prayer is going into it. a lot of publicity and all of that is going into it, because we certainly want to make it as impactful as it has been through the years.
Yes.
And it's only getting better.
Better, yeah,
As
of
you
course.
know,
Of course. Bigger and better, yes.
Better.
Yeah.
So all roads leads to the Bellevue Recreation Ground in St. David, 11th to the 16th of June, 2023, that is.
And you usually, from what I've gathered, you usually have participation from across the country. People live from different parishes to meet wherever that crusade is held. And it's not a static thing. It's not like every year it's at one location. Where was the last crusade held? The Healing of the Nation. Where was it held?
Good question. St. Mark.
St. Mark.
That's the point.
In 2019, was it? That's right.
Yes.
And then we had this hiatus with COVID.
Hear this. We were putting plans in place to go to Carriacou.
Yes.
And then
This year?
COVID came.
That's in 2019. Yeah, back there.
So,
okay.
so then, because
Yeah.
I mean, the meeting in St. Mark's was so powerful, and like, the spirit is on, and you get the drive. The drive was there, and shall I say the overdrive?
Yeah, high powered.
Continue.
And that in effect, you beat me to the question.
Sorry.
Because I always, whenever these sort of initiatives come up, I always ask what happens to our Sister Isles of Carriacou and Martinique.
Right.
So, any intention going there in the future?
Well, certainly.
Of course.
Certainly.
We definitely
get this one.
Yes.
Off and, running, and we certainly would want to go over to Carriacou sometime.
Well, it could well mean that the next trust will be Carriacou, because we really
That's what I'm
wanted
pushing.
to go.
That's what I'm trying to push, because I'm half kayak, half mainlander.
All right.
So yeah. So another thing, what's the format for the event? On a nightly basis, the 9th to the 11th to the 16th. So that's 5 days.
Yes.
All right. Would it be one minister ministering the 6 days, or there will be different ministers?
No, not really. There will be one minister, Evangelist Selwyn Halen. He will be ministering for those nights.
Okay.
We believe that he has a mandate from God, and not just now, from way back. And as an evangelist with the call of God, we support him 100% in delivering the Spirit-filled Word of God. So he will be doing so.
All right. I'm still within the emblem of the Healing of the Nation Crusade, but I'm going out a little bit. In recent times, we've seen a proliferation of crime and violence and deviant behaviors in our society. And some folks are of the opinion, as a matter of fact, I've gotten questions and so forth. Where is the Conference of Churches? What are they doing? And from your both perspective, you're both leaders of different congregations. What do you think? As a matter of fact, Pastor Newton and I, we had some conversations behind the scene, and we have some things in the working that will eventually manifest itself. But from your perspectives individually, what do you think our spiritual leaders and our Christian population can do more of to come to the rescue of our nation?
That's an important point of discussion you raise, Brother Gordon. And this is something that we trying through Healing of the Nation to facilitate and encourage a coming together of evangelical churches, working together to bring, I can make a reference to our vision, of the vision that we've had and established for Healing of the Nation, bringing spiritual transformation in the lives of people toward greater unity, harmony, and cooperation among family members, community, and nation. So that is the premise on which we move. So the question is, in light of all that is happening, what are we doing? We are doing as much as we can, as best we can, as a Healing of the Nation, and even the pastors, the participating churches and pastors within St. David. So, for example, this crusade is focused in St. David, the local, where we're going to be operating from. We have a number of evangelical churches and pastors that will be working along with us, and not just for the crusade, because another purpose statement for the crusade, the demonstration of God's visible and audible presence for the presentation of the gospel, bringing all that I've said. Even Healing of the Nation, through the years, have reached out to people in terms of needs and, all of that. I mean, we would.
Yeah. Well, really, I believe no one pastor, evangelist, or what we have, Healing of the Nation Crusade, could work by itself to get the healing that we need. I believe we need all on board. Every pastor, evangelist, to come on board and have that one mindset to bring transformation and healing to this nation. Really and truly, we can try to look for somebody from some special place. It will not work. I believe God has planted us in Grenada. And if we have situations in Grenada, well, I believe we need to come together. You might not be in every setting, but say like the Healing of the Nation Crusade, this crusade, you can be on board financially, you can be on board with your prayer, you can be on board, and to see the healing of this nation. Because as you rightly said, it's a dangerous time that we are living in.
Yeah, and it's significant because, from the word's perspective, these things have to happen as we draw near to the end of time.
Yes.
They return. Yes. So it's not. It shouldn't be strange. Because it's written.
Right.
It's just a matter of making the necessary preparation.
Yeah, but it is not strange. But in the midst of all of this, the Bible says he's not slack concerning his promise, Christ, as some men count slackness. Okay. But he's long suffering to us, who are not willing that any should perish.
That's right.
Yeah.
But that all should come to repentance. So this is why it is crucial in the upbeat of all that is happening. We have to declare the word of God.
Okay.
We have to preach the gospel.
All right, it's amazing how time flies because it's just about time for us to head off to the BBC. So I'm going to give you 30 seconds, and you 30 seconds to wrap up, encouraging and inviting folks to come out to the crusade, the Healing of the Nation Crusade.
All right. Well, quickly, I'm in charge of the whole prayer area, and I would want to ask all the masses of Grenada to really find ourselves in a place where we can pray up this nation. The theme for our prayer is give them a heart to know you, Lord.
Yeah.
And persons have gone away from God, and because of their heart is so far away, now we're asking God to give them a heart that they will know you. And we believe, I am positive, I believe that God will do that, and we'll see lots of persons coming to know Jesus Christ as their Lord and Savior.
Pastor Newton?
Well, the honor has bestowed upon me to be the General Secretary of the Healing of the Nation Committee, Crusade Committee, the steering committee, and certainly is a tremendous responsibility. And through the years, I've really enjoyed being service to the nation, service to the people. So I would echo the sentiments of Bishop George. We inviting persons to come on out in your numbers. You can encourage a friend, a neighbor, a brother, a sister. Come over to Bellevue Recreation Ground in your droves and expect the move of God.
Okay.
The presence of God.
All right. Well, thank you for being a part and of the program this morning, and we'll continue to push that agenda so as many persons as possible can come out to that Healing of the Nation Crusade, and keep on praying for us.
Definitely.
Thank you. We will do.
And so. I challenge you. I like challenging people. I challenge you both, and even others who are listening, that we be more frontal.
Right.
Of course.
Right? Be more frontal, get the message out.
Get the message out.
All right?
Get the message out.
Well, I don't back off from challenges.
Yes, well, I know that.
I don't back off.
That I do know. That I do know. Folks, we'll take a commercial break. We'll be back after these. Don't you go anywhere. We'll be back right after these messages.
Regatta Festival.
Where on Friday, we welcome you with cultural display.
Saturday, ready, set, go. All aboard, let's go.
Sunday, the feature weeks with activities for you and I. Monday, we know you'll be crying for more.
Oh, we just can't wait to have fun. We can go sailing, we can go partying, eating and drinking, we can go through it. This is our unique festival. Regatta 2023.
Petite Martinique Whitsuntide Regatta awaits you May 26th to 29th.
See you there.
Mr. mentioned the wing high, then you have things like man, you must come back, you know. We have the low folder.
It is kind of like the same man, and it's just different name for the same kind of thing.
And last but not least, I just want to say to all the men who saw me, call me, and ask for a piece of cake. I'm baking this weekend.
Join us Fridays at 8 on GBN Television, K105 FM, GBN's Facebook page, and YouTube channel for We Culture.
You know, one day I woke up and, you know, they painted a set of pedestrian crossing all along the streets. You know, nobody told us how to use that thing properly.
I know how.
You're serious?
Every safe, good driver knows about these things. As a driver, you have to be very attentive. You know you're coming up close to a pedestrian cross, you start slowing down immediately, looking to see if there's any pedestrian on the side getting ready to cross. If there is, you stop on the line that is a certain distance before the crosswalk. Then you would see the pedestrian put their hands out, looking directly at you, indicating that they are going to cross. And only when you have come to a complete stop, that is when they will quickly and safely cross to the other side. And then you continue happily on your journey.
Stop, look, hand out, eye contact, wait for pedestrian to cross. Then you happily continue on your journey.
This message is brought to you by this group of insurance companies, the Traffic Advisory Body, and the Traffic Department.
On Saturday, July 29, Montrouge Plainfield will be transformed into a sea of grills as food, fun, and friends collide. It's the 10th annual Maggie King of the Grill competition. The best chef and barbecue kings and queens compete for cash, a new grill, and the title of Maggie King of the Grill. Come savor the flavors. Try to bust the ice cold bar and let the kids have their way in the bouncing castles, pony rides, slides, and games. Try your hand at dominoes or the beer and leg competition and win instant cash. Come 7 p.m. you go stateside to enjoy performances from top local acts. It's a whole evening of fun at the Maggie King of the Grill, Saturday, July 29 at the Montrouge Plainfield. Gates open from 12 noon. $10 get you on the inside. Powered by Maggie, Hot 98, and GBN Television.
I exercise and watch what I eat to avoid non-communicable diseases like a stroke or even a heart attack. These NCDs kill our loved ones and cost regional taxpayers dearly. Did you know that? Tune into the Caribbean Economic Forum entitled Managing the Costs and Economic Fallout of Non-Communicable Diseases in the Caribbean. Featured guests include Professor Anderson, Professor Theodore, and Dr. Connell.
Caribbean Economic Forum, this Sunday at 5 p.m. on GBN Television. Channels 7 and 11. GBN, keeping you informed with global issues, anywhere and everywhere.
Records at the traffic department shows that a total of 1,000 447 accidents were reported for the year 2012, which includes 3 road fatalities. 2,946 accidents were reported for the year 2022, which includes 8 road fatalities. This is a significant increase of 104%. This is alarming. When a family tragically loses a loved one, does it matter whether by means of a gun or a motor vehicle? To avoid accidents, drivers and pedestrians alike must exercise extreme caution when using the road.
One day I was out playing with my friend Kevin and he was really moody. I asked him what was the matter. Someone in his family had been doing mean things to him. He said he had to keep it a secret. Good secrets are cool things like a surprise party or a gift for a special occasion. A bad secret is when someone hurts or harms you and tells you not to tell anyone. Sometimes they might give you little things to make sure you don't tell. That's another bad secret to keep. Because as a child, when someone hurts you, you can feel really alone and afraid. And the best people to help you are the ones you love and really, really trust. I asked him if there was any adult that he trusted. So we worked up a little plan for Kevin to talk to one of them. A while after that, I could see my friend was doing much better. Now we tell all our pals about good secrets and bad secrets so that we can all feel brave, safe, and strong. Break the silence. Child abuse is one secret you should never keep.
Wait to see my granddaughter.
GBN Television News at 7, a pulse on all things Grenadian. Look out for our new features through expanded synergies with our media partners in Barbados, St. Lucia, Jamaica, Trinidad, and beyond. Capturing the latest in news, sports, weather, and entertainment. Credible, informative. Thank you for making us number one. News at 7, live, Monday to Friday on GBN Television, Channel 7 and 11. K105.5 and 105.9, Hot 98.5 and 98.7, GBN Television Facebook page.
All right, right, good morning once again. Welcome back. We have an extended version of the conversation this morning, and that's the thing about media, right? Dynamism and volatility. So this time I'm joined. I'm certain you heard me speak about it on more than one occasion. That we have the Petite Regatta coming up. It's this weekend. I was excited to be up there with my good friend Milton Coy, my kayak representative, but unfortunately, due to some prior engagements which I overlooked, I cannot be up there for the weekend. But I've got on the line with me all the way from the Sister Isle of Petite, Mr. Dwight Logan. He is a member of the Petite Regatta Committee, and it's a good time to say good morning, sir.
Good morning to you, and good morning to the viewers of GBN.
All right, and how are you this morning?
I'm fine. I'm great.
How is PM?
PM is bright and sunny. Going to be a hot day.
As
on
always.
The continent of Petite.
As on